mafia do you. And so me frewa ya umfa. Oh, say pay me bien so any account. Obey yourself, massa.
Now you have no choice than to switch up to Wasborn TV and stay connected. Wasborn TV, entertainment and more.
Stephen Dapa Ado, hyphenated Dapa Ado. Sheila Menka Premo, hyphenated. Kweku Esrefi.
The practice is that the court should also observe the COVID-19 protocol. So we've decided that since this is a presidential petition, yes. Yes. So from Davis. That's more than you have exceeded the limit. Should be 4. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused. You have already done the motion for. So implement should be based on an application to the court rather than an administrative decision. In the case of the election petition in 2012-2013, there seemed to have been an administrative decision made earlier, and then that was brought before the court itself because presumably somebody realized that that administrative decision was not particularly appropriate. And so before the court, the matter was considered. So what I just want to understand is it that the court has decided that ahead? I respectfully move in terms of our motion paper and the supporting affidavit. We are seeking is it's quite clear that in the petition as filed, in a couple of places where we should have read first respondent, it read the other way. And we're seeking to make clear that, for instance, we're not asking for a runoff election between the Electoral Commission and the first respondent. That's, clearly obvious. My Lord, respectfully, the first and second
Yes, my lords. Well, lords, I looked at some 30 in the rules of the court.
No, we want you to look at what has been filed.
What has been filed? You see?
The invocation of this court's jurisdiction, the process.
The originating process.
Is it a writ or a petition?
Oh, Lord, in one instance it's a writ, in another instance it's a petition.
No, you should look at it. It's not what they are saying. What do you have before you?
My lords, the substance talks about a writ. A petition, sorry. Okay. Yes, that's my point.
Let's accept it and proceed with it.
That is very well.
Have you made a mistake before in life?
That is so. We all make mistakes. And that is why we believe that the petitioner should have been more kind of the innocuous errors made by the first respondent. No, please, no. But my lords, may I make the point then that the applicant will be required to amend again certain of the statements in the proposed amendment. Yes, ma'am.
Please, you are not conducting their case
Very well.
for them.
Very well.
They have gone through the process they found. They have come to realize that they were errors. So they are seeking the leave of the court to amend. Who says you can amend once?
Very well.
Oh. But I'm not going to have.
All right.
Alan, why you say that? You do more here. Oh, Charlie.
Try 2.
Tested. Try 2. All rise.
This is a new court. By court. We have considered the application for you to amend the petition file. We notice that the applicant is just seeking you to amend the petition for the occurrence of the petition. You have looked at the nature of the amendment and as it does not change the nature of the petitioner's case, you grant the amendment in the closed case. Let the amended process be found by the close of the day before 4 p.m. today. Yes, the respondents are at liberty to amend their respective answers to the petition on or before 4 p.m. today, Friday, the 15th of January 2021. The petition is thus adjourned to Tuesday, the 19th of January 2021. The motion for live telecast of the proceedings is hereby struck as moved. Yes. Let's go for I believe that the Tuesday today will be the commencement of the pre-trial. Let's go for and that's the most faithful. You are not faithful to the court.
All rise. Petition against 21st Tuesday.
Was a harmless one. That amendment was not going to change the petition. the amendment.
Towards the trial proper that we would be having at one point in time.
But this errors that were made in the NDC's petition, referring to the EC at a point as the first respondent and referring to it as a second respondent, and calling for a rerun of the elections between the two, where the EC now becomes Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo in that petition. Is that not serious? I mean, this is a presidential election petition, so yes, we shouldn't be seeing some mistakes like this.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that it's serious, but the counter argument too is that mistakes can be made, and I mean, it's clearly speaking, if you read the petition, you know exactly who they are referring to, and I believe that the respondents also know who they are referring to. It's just that drafting mistakes happen, and so we shouldn't really make much of. We should deal with the substance of the matter, as opposed to some of these things that really do not go to the heart of the. I mean, I can understand why people will will have qualms about such mistakes, because we heard people saying that you are complaining about the Electoral Commission making mistakes, and you are making mistakes yourselves, which goes to show that mistakes can be made and all that, and doesn't go to the heart of the matter. But I mean, generally speaking, mistakes of this nature happen, and as long as they do not go to the heart and core of the matter, it's totally allowable to be amended.
So we're now joined by Abdul Mumen. He is also at the Supreme Court. He will join us via phone to give us updates on what's happening. Good morning to you, Abdul. It appears that the NDC's quest to amend their earlier petition went through seamlessly. Is that the case?
Exactly so, Morris. Let me just take you through what happened in the court to get the mental picture of everything that happened. So, for example, we do know that when the former president found the petition to get the Supreme Court to announce, get the declaration of the 2020 election results announced, so that he and Dr. Akufo-Addo could go for a wrap-up. There were some mistakes in the petition.
Abdul, if you can reposition yourself, your line is not too clear. Reposition yourself. Let's hear you clearly, Abdul.
I don't know if you can hear me now.
I think it's better.
Okay, so I'll just make it the point that so in court the president's lawyers thought to seek permission from the Supreme Court to go and amend portions of the petition. The exact portion of the petition that happened was, the petition giving the president of the Republic and the EC, and in asking for a round-up, according to the lawyers of Dr. Muhammad, they came at definitely said the round-up should be organized between the EC and the former president. Of course, it was going to be possible with the EC as well for election, but that's according to the lawyers who was 100%
Abdul.
The court to allow them to amend the mistake.
Hello, Abdul.
Yes.
Abdul, your line is still not that clear. I mean, we're grateful you can just reposition yourself.
I'm the president of the Supreme Court now, probably, and there are so many gadgets here at the moment, probably that could be material for the taking out. Otherwise, you have to call me back so I find it.
Just continue. Let's see if this is going to work out this time around. You can continue.
Is it better now?
It's okay. Just go on. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, Moen, it's okay. Just go on. You can hear you now.
Okay, so I'm saying that the petitioner has worked with Mr. Dr. Muhammad to the court to allow team and the team amend the portion of the petition, especially the portion that talks to state that the rank of two organized between John Tomani Mahama and the EC. That's where the problem was. But John Tomani Mahama and Nana Adjunct Supervisor and not the EC. The portion has granted it doing so court that well, the human as human as we are, we all do make mistakes, and therefore there should go at and finally by 4 p.m. today, and the respondent, the president and the Lord should also let their food to the Supreme Court by today on Friday, which is the 15th. Because certain the president led by Mr. Frank is he also endorse the fact that well, once we are all in the human society, people are bound to make mistakes, and that the NDP this is what the competence was master and one of these mistakes, and if they have adapted them through the age, they will be looking for them to file so that they, the lawyers of the president, will also respond appropriately by the 15th.
Right. Right, thank you very much. Abdu Hai Mumen is our man on the ground. George, you also have Edward Nyako. He's also on the line. He's also at the Supreme Court. Edward, can you paint a picture of how the Supreme Court and its precinct is looking like at this particular point?
Well, at the moment, because the third person among the system is closed or just comes to an end. Almost all the lawyers represent the various parts that accuse the NDC President Mahama and the President Putradu all left. If you care to know, the Chief Justice, the 7-member panel has taken the case this morning when the Chief Justice then Justice Samuel Master, the Amateur, Professor Nia, Justice Kono, and Justice Maria, so the 7 judges that not the motion that was passed again this morning. Yeah, there were heavy duty questions in concerning this to ensure that it's not problem. It was smooth in the sense that the party supported around. I think that is because the heavy discipline, no matter what them all, residents can come in to the process of the Supreme Court. If you look at what happened there, I don't know what is going to happen, but none of the judges, 3 remaining judges are staff elected system. Apart from the Chief Justice, 2 of them are justice, and Justice Wasborn, none of them were on this panel and later said the motion that was passed against the amendment the petition. So, because if you remember, most of the judges are part of the case, they were 9, 6 of them are retired. Not even the president of the justice, Justice Adeke, there were 3 women on the panel, Justice Adeke, Justice Yusuf, and then Justice Adeke. They all retired, and the other 3. One of them is Justice, that's the need for, and then we have Justice State, and then Justice Wasborn, but they were not part.
All right.
The panel are at this moment.
All right. Thank you very much, Edward. It appears the lines are just not,
having some challenges
because of the nature of that particular area.
Wanted to find out if the panel we have that sat today, it's going to be the panel that's going to run through.
I mean, I didn't hear what he said exactly. I don't know exactly what transpired, so it's difficult to make.
Because he said that there was 7-member panel, of which the Chief Justice was part.
Okay.
And it was just 2 that's part from the 2012 petition, but most of the panel members are just new to this particular case, because the previous one, most of the judges are on retirement now. So yeah, I was just wondering if this panel sat, does it mean that it's the same panel that's going to run through?
I mean, not knowing exactly what transpired, it's difficult to make that determination right now. Maybe in the course of the day, we have some more information, and moving forward, we'll be able to tell exactly what panel will be empaneled to sit on the case. That's information that will be made known to the public anyway, so we should just wait and see once the official statement is made to that effect. That is, if it's made, but we will find out at some point in time.
In determining the panel, is it at the discretion of the Chief Justice, or there's a process that?
Yes, the Chief Justice is the Chief Justice, as the name suggests, of the Republic of Ghana, and he or she, as the case may be, is entitled to empanel judges to hear certain matters, especially in the Supreme Court. So it's totally at his discretion, and so we can expect that a panel will be empaneled. He has the power to do so statutorily, and so he can, and he will be the one who would empanel the justices that will sit on this particular matter.
And he doesn't need an approval from any of the parties?
No, I mean, the judiciary is an independent branch of government, and if you read the Constitution, I believe from Article 125 thereabout, it makes it clear that the judiciary is independent and is not subject to the direction or control of any other authority, including the president's parliament or anyone for that matter. So they're totally an independent branch of government, and they can do as they please, of course, within the confines of the law. So yes, no one can control or tell or determine how the panel is to be made, except the Chief Justice himself.
But a party to the case can raise an objection against any of the panel members?
Of course. I mean, it's allowed, and there's a rule of natural justice, as we are aware of in law and in legal proceedings. So we know that there are two strands generally of this principle of natural justice, audio term patem and nemo judex in causa suas. What these simply mean is that, for instance, if a justice on the case has an interest, or it is alleged that he has an interest in the matter, then no, I wouldn't say a case. I'm trying to break it down in as simple terms as possible. You can raise that
argument.
Yes, and then ask the justice to be recused. For instance, we saw that in the application that was sent to the Supreme Court emanating from the Hohoi High Court in relation to the Hohoi seat in Pitamaru, there was such objection raised in terms of one of the justices, and it was dismissed. So of course you can raise that to ask a justice to recuse themselves where he has a personal interest in the matter, or where there's a likelihood of bias and all that. So yes, it's allowed. You can do that, and it will be determined upon.
Okay. So I think we'll be wrapping up on this matter, because they've adjourned the case, you know. So, but in the case of the Pitamaru case, the ruling was that because it was not his fault that the people of Sao didn't vote, he could still go on to hold himself as MP. Now, in the presidential petition, it is maybe to put it, it should be the fault of the EC that they declared there is so the NDC is saying that the figures are not correct. So that's the fault of the of the Electoral Commission, and not the second respondent. Can we bring that case into this?
All right, just hold on. I mean, what you're seeing now, what transpired at the Supreme Court minutes ago. So at least these are pictures of what really happened at the Supreme Court minutes ago. Yes.
So you're saying, can we compare the two situations? I think they're two different situations altogether. In one sense, we're talking about a parliamentary election dispute, if you may, but it was more of a human rights application. The fact that people were disenfranchised, they were not allowed to vote. And like you're saying, that falls at the door of the Electoral Commission. And it is in that sense, I believe you're saying that with the presidential election petition too, in the same vein, the EC declared the results, which is being challenged by the candidate who feels that something happened that shouldn't have happened. So, I mean, of course he has that right, and we're seeing it before our eyes. He has that right to go to the Supreme Court to ask the court to do something about it in the form of the election petition. As to whether the two are the same or are comparable, I mean, to the extent that the Electoral Commission is a respondent in both of those instances, and obviously it's the Electoral Commission that conducted the election, so any challenge of the validity of the election of either the president or a member of parliament, the EC will be involved one way or the other, because like you rightly pointed out, the candidate who stands in an election is not the one who declares the results or conducts the election in the first place. So if you're challenging the validity of his election, necessarily you are challenging the Electoral Commission as well. So to that extent, then we can say there are similarities, but there are two different things altogether, because one deals with a parliamentary issue, the other deals with a presidential petition.
All right. Okay. So we're in broadcast here. Sure. We'll leave it here. And on the 19th, I'm told, the next sitting, and we're going to bring you that one too, live here on Ghana Television and on GBC News, and also on radio, Unique 95.7, and across the 16 regions of this country. Thank you very much for joining us. We say thanks to our guest, lawyer, Dr. Kwekwajiman Budu. He's a lawyer, he's a law lecturer, and also head of Law Center's Gimpa Faculty of Law. My name is George Sapo, and I did this with...
My name is Maurice Ogbete. Thank you for joining us on today's edition. As I said, we'll bring you fair, balanced, and objective reportage from the Supreme Court. We will leave you to make the judgment for yourself, and we will resist any temptation to go into the merits of the matter.
The amendment.
Respectfully, my lords, still on my J1 class 5.
So that means Uncle Ed. You didn't go on Ed.
Wasborn TV, what I say, telling about all your entertainment, what I say, just tune in.
So what they call?
Mafia, do you? And so me frewa ya umfa. Oh, say won't pay me bien so any account. Obey yourself, massa.
Now you have no choice than to switch up to Wasborn TV and stay connected. Wasborn TV, entertainment and more.